when I was 30, I hadn't went to the doctor since I was a child. I mean, a little child, 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
So at 30, I started working with APC and I went to the dentist. And the dentist said, you know what? We're not going to be able to treat you because your blood pressure's high. And, I was like, really? And it's not something I even thought about. And they were like, yeah. So they made me wait. And, I laid there for about an hour. And then finally it went down. They did the procedure. I went back 3 months later. They said, we can't treat you. You need to see a doctor. Your blood pressure's high. So I went in to meet with the primary care physician. So he did a workup on me. He was like, yeah, you have high blood pressure. And, and I've always worked out. So I worked, I was like, well, I can beat that. I said, I can, I'll just work out a little harder, do a little more cardio, et cetera. And they were like, well, we need you to see a nephrologist because we believe you may have kidney issues. And I didn't know all that was foreign language to me, right? So
and this is at 30?
This is at 30. So I went and met a nephrologist and she was like, yeah, your creatinine level's at a 5 and it's way above where it should be. And it's not a matter of if, it's when you're going to have to go on dialysis. And I'm like, what? I knew my grandfather had been on dialysis. But I didn't know much about it. And then my mom had gotten on dialysis shortly after that diagnosis from me.
Okay.
And so I watched her go through it. And in my mind, I'm like, hey, I'm still working out, whatever. They want me to take these blood pressure meds. I didn't really do that like I should have. I was not doing the things they wanted me to change my eating habits. Didn't do any of that. Well, that level at my creatinine level continued to rise. And every time I would go see her, the number would be higher and higher.
Wow.
Until it got to a point where they said, well, now you have to go on dialysis because your kidneys aren't functioning.
So how many years from that the first initial diagnosis?
Probably 10 years later.
10 years.
10 years later.
I've seen you work out every day. I've only known you to work. Yeah, I've only known you to work out every day. And
so
you don't eat bad. And yeah.
As Black men, we don't go to the doctor. And that's an issue, right? Because I found out, if I would have found out about my blood pressure when I was younger.
And paid more attention to it.
Attention to it, I probably would have prolonged this issue. Now, this is hereditary. My kidney issue and my hypertension, my high blood pressure is hereditary, but I could have controlled it better. And before I had to go on dialysis, I probably could have prolonged that.
So you ended up going on dialysis. How long have you been doing dialysis?
This is my 6th year I'm on dialysis.
Is it 6 years?
And in 2021, I did get a kidney. It was from a deceased individual, but the kidney was damaged. So they put it in. It never woke up. That's what the term they say. It never woke up. And when it doesn't wake up, you have to continue to go to dialysis. And so I have a kidney in me, which is what they consider a foreign object. So I take a lot of medication for it to stay in me and my body to, not kick it out. And so I still have it in me. It doesn't work. But I've been on dialysis again for 6 years. And initially I was depressed because I'm like, why me? Why me? And I probably stayed in the bed for about 2 weeks and didn't want to get out. And then something just hit me. Hey, you got a family you have to be here for and take care of. Get it together. And I just changed it just totally the next day, got up, started going back to the gym, got my mind right. And so now it's just a lifestyle change.
And we didn't even get to talk about your relationship with God through the whole thing.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, I'm glad you said that. I think that's what he used to get my attention. Because like I said, I was wilding. I was out there drinking heavily, all of this, right? And I think the issue with me having to go on dialysis and my hypertension really is what got my attention and made me slow down, focus, and, really focus on my life and living right. So right now, you still need a kidney. Absolutely.
And so, so this is Kidney Awareness Month. And so my guest has actually shared something so personal. And I thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
We need to make kidney awareness. And so if there is anyone out there that has ever considered donating or getting tested to be a donor, please do contact your, how do they contact?
You can go online. There's sites for kidney donors. There's right now 93,000 people that are on the list, on the waiting list for kidney.
Wow.
Right. So the demand is much bigger than the supply. So if a person finds that in their heart that they want to help a person live longer or donate one of their kidneys, I would recommend them to go online, and there's different organizations that you can fill out an application. Not everyone will be able to donate. Like there's certain things you can't have, high blood pressure. There's certain criteria that you have to meet just at the very beginning.
Kind of see if it's a match.
Yeah, they have to get their blood type tested to see if that's a match. Because you want the best kidney for that individual, right?
Right.
To see, because you want to last.
Okay.
And kidneys can last, all types of time. Some only last a few months, some last 20 years.
Wow.
It just depends on the individual, how he takes care of the kidney, if his body doesn't reject the kidney, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just recently stopped drinking. Well, I guess last year sometime, mid last year. So I don't know. I'll get tested. That's the only reason I didn't want to give anybody a drunk kidney, nothing like that. But that's the only reason that I have not considered or just like done anything. But I do want to get tested and just to see. But the thing that is a struggle. We all have struggles, and so that just seems to be your pain. One of the pain points right now for you. What I find that is so interesting about this whole thing is that you were prepared. You're like prepared. Like you don't have to get up and go to work. You can get up nowadays because you did so well with your life coming out of corporate America and saving and living within your means. You managed to accumulate enough funds so that no matter what this looks like, you have the opportunity to be able to enjoy the time and spend this time with your family while you go through the process of trying to get that kidney.
Correct.
And you've taken on establishing a foundation to help others, even though you're dealing with a difficult time.